Hi, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Evolving Women. I'm Teresa Lysam, and I am here with an amazing evolving woman, Tammy Cissell. Thank you so much for being here, Tammy. Tammy is an entrepreneur who wants to ask you, do you have all of your eggs in the same basket? Did that come out right? I don't even know.
Who knows?
So,
It's Thanksgiving time, so I kind of feel like we need some sort of turkey analogy, but
some kind of food reference. So thank you
yeah.
so much for being here, Tammy. So appreciate you. And I know you have lots of advice and good suggestions and insights for other women who are listening in today. I know you have changed careers multiple times for whatever reason. And so you have a really unique and great perspective on how we bring money into our lives. And I will stop talking.
Oh. Well, I just became a grandma for the second time in September.
Congratulations.
We had a little baby girl. So, yeah, I think, when you hit your 50s, when you become a grandma, you kind of look back, and I'm thrilled and excited to share my wisdom with those women coming up, especially behind me, but
Hmm.
women who are, looking ahead and planning for retirement, becoming a grandma, empty nesters, postmenopausal. So I think the message hits
Yeah.
two groups, right? The women following and the women where I'm at now in transition. It's a
Yep.
transition phase
Yep.
when all your kids go to college, and you got to kind of change things up whether you like it or not, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Um,
So
I said some of those transitions are intentional and some of them are not. We're just tossed into it, and we need to be adaptable and resilient to make things work for us. So, can you just give us a really short encapsulation of your journey to that got you to this point?
sure. So I'm sitting here in Kentucky, but I actually grew up in California, and I typical middle class family, was on the college path, did the college thing, had to get a job after college. But I I wanted to dedicate myself to the nonprofit sector. I had a very serious ski accident actually when I was 15, had to be brought back to life, was told I would not walk again, was
Wow.
told that I would not have kids. None of those things became true. I walked just fine. I actually have 7 kids. Some of those came from a previous marriage, but nonetheless, I had a couple on my own as well. But really finding your why, having a passion, having a purpose. I knew that I wanted to work in nonprofit, but very, very, very early on, when I made that decision, when I graduated from college, I knew right away that working in nonprofit, I would never be able to earn a lot of money.
Mm,
And not that money was important, because what was important was giving back to the community, since God blessed me with this kind of second life, literally.
mm-hmm.
Um, but I wanted to have a nice house, and I wanted to have a college fund for my kids. And so how was I going to do that? By working in the nonprofit sector and not having those big salaries. And so right away, actually, a very wealthy man took me under his wing and mentored me, and I got my real estate license. But I didn't plan on practicing real estate. I did that because I wanted to understand real estate. I graduated with a communications degree and realized I didn't know anything about loans, mortgages, interest rates, the economy. I didn't know any of that stuff.
Yeah,
So
that would be a commonality among many of us.
yeah. So side hustling, that's kind of today's term for it. But back then, it was really about a diversification of income streams. So
Mhm.
yes, I would work 9 to 5, and I would have this great nonprofit career, which ended up lasting for 30 years.
Mm,
But on the side, I would make the real money. I would learn how to buy and sell real estate. I would rent real estate. I would, invest in the stock market, learn about bonds and stocks and mutual funds and things like this, and always put money aside in the 401k, even if it was only $10 a month.
Mm.
So it was really for me, it happened because I did want to make an income, and I knew the career
Mhm.
path I chose wouldn't provide me that. But what I have to relay to the watchers of this podcast today is that diversification of income streams, especially for women, becomes absolutely critical. I got a divorce later on that I was not expecting, and it was sure glad I had a backup plan.
Mhm. I bet.
Um, and you know, layoff, a layoff I was not expecting. Sure glad I had a backup plan.
Mhm.
And we saw what happened in 2008 in the big recession with real estate and mortgages. We saw what happened in the pandemic with people losing jobs just overnight. We
Yeah.
saw
Yeah.
we see what's happening now with the government shutdown, people not getting paid. So there's a lot of outside forces that can literally stop that plan A.
Mhm.
And a lot of Americans, especially women, don't have a plan B.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
especially aren't thinking about diversifying their income streams. So 30-year career, to answer your original question, 30-year career in the nonprofit sector, kind of achieved everything I wanted to achieve in that. And then went over into publishing neighborhood magazines through a franchise system. Did that for 6 years, ended up coaching new franchise business owners, and then currently started my own travel business. So I recruit people to be travel agents. I also sell travel. So three very, very different careers, but all of them were streaming next beside my original career of nonprofit. So that's kind of my three career story, the three big ones.
I love that, what you
Yeah.
just shared. Thank you so much. A couple of things. When you transitioned from one career, I know you had like parallel things going on, right? So during your nonprofit, you had your real estate, we'll call it a side hustle going on. And then when you transitioned to the magazine um, career, you still had that same side hustle? Like you always had that continued thread going on. So even though you were changing these careers over here, you had one consistent one with the real estate. Am I understanding
Yep,
that right?
yep,
Okay.
yep. There's actually an Airbnb above my head here. We have an apartment upstairs that we rent out. So the real estate has always been there. The other side hustle, the other diverse stream of income that is extremely valuable is network marketing. So I've always had network marketing. There's going to be a few people that are watching this and they're going to go, oh, a pyramid scheme. Well,
Yeah.
what's not a pyramid
Yeah.
scheme? I mean, come on.
Yeah. Exactly.
You go to the
Exactly.
bank, the teller has the manager, has the manager, has the
Mm-hmm.
manager, and then there's the
Yes. Yeah.
CEO and his yacht right now, right? Um, yeah. But it's proven to be, there are more millionaires made in network marketing more than anywhere else, just under real estate. So the most millionaires on this planet come out of real estate. The second most millionaires come out of network marketing.
Mm.
More than tech, more than Steve Jobs, those types of people.
Mm-hmm.
No, the most quantity of individual millionaires comes out of network marketing. So the reason I like network marketing as a side hustle is simply, a lot of people just think of income and how much money they're making.
Exactly.
But what network marketing does is helps the other end of things, your expenses, right? So if you're buying makeup, you may as well buy Mary Kay makeup at a discount. If you're buying
Mm-hmm.
vitamins, you may as well buy Amway or Arbonne or
Mm-hmm.
Shackley vitamins at a discount. Um, if you're buying travel, you may as well buy travel at a discount at a travel agent rate, right? So you can significantly help your household income by just simply stepping in and becoming a member, becoming, a network marketer. Whether you bring on team members doesn't really matter. Getting your products at a discount is helpful, and it's nice to integrate yourself into that system so that if you ever do lose your job, you can then pick it up and actually
Mm-hmm.
start it as a business and selling those vitamins to a friend or whatever. So yeah, when I had my first baby, I started scrapbooking like crazy. I became a creative memories consultant. I don't even
Mm-hmm.
think creative memories exist anymore.
That's a good question.
Yeah, became a creative memories consultant to get my scrapbooks at a discount. And then
Mm-hmm.
after I went on maternity leave, uh, I lost my job. Call it fair, call it not fair, whatever. They didn't have me back. Um, so I needed to find something fast. So I just started scrapbooking with the moms group at my church and the moms on my
Mm-hmm.
street. And next thing you know, I had this little business empire selling scrapbooks. So the side hustle becomes an immediate. I
Mm-hmm.
can pick it up. I own my own company. I can work out of my house. We can all scrapbook with the babies crawling under our feet.
Yep. I
So
love that.
yeah, and
And
then so those side hustles like that can save you when you get laid off or you get divorced or you know the economy goes bust and you need to pivot. You can pivot very quick in an environment you're already familiar with. You already know the
mm-hmm.
rules. You already know how to do it. You love the products, etc.
Right, right. I think
Yeah,
that's important, loving the product. But I love everything you've just talked about. You're very creative. You were able to take what life had given you and just move in a little bit different direction, following your passion, possibly following your hobby at that point in time, and be able to create an income with that. This is not something that is typical ways of thinking, at least from where I'm from. My family I grew up with in was not entrepreneurial, did not have a business mindset. So when I tapped into the network marketing world, such as you just described, like I had no clue what I was getting into, how to do it. Like I had to change my whole mindset because my mindset was, oh, you get a job, somebody pays you, you work for the man, put in your time. And it was a whole new world to see something different than that.
yeah, very, very. Yeah, we're conditioned as a society, and it's been working for many, many, many decades, right? It's been
Yes.
working
Yep.
that you go through school and then you go to college and then you get a
Mm-hmm.
nice 9 to 5 job and then you get
Yep.
a raise maybe 3% a year. Then
Mm-hmm.
maybe 3 times in your career you get a promotion. But as we've kind of evolved and moved forward, I mean, what we're seeing is that you you almost need to have a side
Yes.
hustle.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
um, People are changing jobs yearly now, and
Mm-hmm.
and it's just a whole new world out there. And this next generation wants to work from home. They don't want to go into an
Mm-hmm.
office, and they
Yep.
certainly don't want to buy a suit and pantyhose. I mean, forget those
Oh my
days.
God, pantyhose. Oh my gosh.
Right.
Oh man, I can't. I hated them when I wore them. And then I don't know when I get to that age or that point, we're like, oh no, no more,
Yeah.
no more
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah. So it's really, there's this rebellion against working for the man, working for
Yep.
somebody else, especially with women. But it's very difficult. It's pretty much impossible. You cannot just step into real estate and make $1 million tomorrow. You cannot just step into the stock market, and that's very risky. I mean, you might make a
Mhm.
million dollars tomorrow and you might lose it the third day, right? So, and in network marketing, it's this graph that does this. It's, you work a lot of hours and you don't make a lot of money. And then you work less hours and you start making the money and you start making the money. And then
Mhm.
you're not working that many hours and you're making a lot of money, right? But it's this unusual thinking thing because people are used to I
Yeah,
go to work on day one and I'm paid on day
exactly.
one. Now the paycheck
Yes.
might not come for two
Yep.
weeks, but you're paid the same every day. And those different models of thinking are just really unusual to people. But because it takes time to build up income in the stock market or in real estate or in network marketing, that's why I'm saying this concept of a side hustle, you have to prepare so that you can literally turn 50 years old like I did and say, okay, I'm done. And I
Mm-hmm.
worked in nonprofit. I mean, that 30 years nonprofit, and I can say I'm done. Now, I'm not the wealthiest person on earth. I'm not saying I'm a gazillionaire, but I'm saying I'm very comfortable. And the goal really is time freedom, personal freedom,
Yes.
financial
Yes.
freedom.
Yep. Yep.
So how can you get yourself to that point the fastest? And it's going to be very difficult, if not impossible, to get to a life of time freedom, personal freedom, financial freedom, if you don't do something else, if you don't diversify your income stream. Like you said earlier, are all your eggs in one basket? If you put all your eggs in one basket, if you just rely on the plan A, that 9 to 5 job, you're going to work till you're 65, possibly
Mm-hmm.
70, with
Yep.
all this cuts going on, Social Security, Medicare, etc. You're probably going to end up
Mm-hmm.
having to work till 75. And you're not going to have the freedom to vacation when you want to vacation and live where you want to live and be able to leave a legacy for your grandchildren in that model. It's that freedom
Mm-hmm.
we're looking for,
Right.
right?
Which we
So
all are.
yeah,
But I don't think we're taught this, or
we're
some
not.
of us were never exposed to it early on in life. That's why it was such a foreign concept to me, because I did have that narrative of, like you said, you go to college, you get a job, you get paid, you trade um, hours for dollars, you trade your time for dollars,
Yeah,
working for somebody else. And just that the fact that you are open to something beyond that, beside that, I just think that's a beautiful thing. I don't know where you got that idea, but you are very blessed to have gotten that idea from somewhere. Like I said, I didn't get it till later in life when these doors opened or these new opportunities came into my awareness, and I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. But I wish I had jumped on way earlier in my life, and I'd be
yeah,
in a little bit different position, in a
yeah,
different place in my life. But that's that narrative that we buy into, and I think we have to be able to bust out of that and look at these different things, see these different perspectives, because we're not taught that, which is
no,
fine, but you took it upon yourself to learn real estate to with your mentor, but and you just kind of followed this path, but you also had this one. I love that because something could happen over here, but you still have this to get you going or keep the momentum going until either you grow this one or bring something else in so you're in tandem again. I just absolutely love that. And that's really something that I think you're right, like newer, younger generations are grasping that. They're understanding that. They're not tied to that old paradigm. Like, I don't know how your parents are or were. Mine were like, you work in a job for 30, 40 years, the same job, whether you like it or not. And
yeah,
then when something does happen, like, okay, now what? Like your whole world collapses. Whereas now this younger generation is more about that flexibility and, jumping around and doing something that they love to do. And it's just a whole different mindset. And I am so thrilled that
yeah.
that is happening now.
I will state kind of this caveat. This next generation is wanting to have that time freedom, personal freedom, financial freedom quicker, earlier. They get it. You can work from home. The pandemic showed us that, oh, you can work
Yes.
from home. But
Yes.
what this next wave of especially young women is not understanding is patience. So, if you put $10 a month into this, it compounds. right? We could
Mm-hmm.
do a lesson on the value of compounding interest, compounding, right? So you really, it's not going to happen overnight. That's the problem, is this
Mm-hmm.
generation gets that they should have side hustles and lots of things, lots of irons in the fire, lots of eggs in the basket. They might understand now that that's like the trendy thing to do, is have all these side hustles, and that's why it's got this cool name now, the side hustle. But what they're not doing is they're switching side hustles too often. They're not
Mm.
staying the long game. They're not being
That's,
patient enough. Like I
yeah.
said, in the example of network marketing, you'll work and network and
Mm-hmm.
refer and talk to people and talk to people and talk to people and talk to people, but it's going to take a while before they make a decision, because that's the other
Mm-hmm.
thing with this new generation, is nobody commits to anything, right? Nobody makes a decision, nobody takes risks, right? So it takes a while for that to build up. Just like the easiest example is, put $1 in the bank, and if it's got 5% interest, then you've got your $1.05, and then that $1.05, then you've got a dollar,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right,
But it
right.
takes time. It takes time for this to work. And so yeah, I think, you know, we have school, then job or college,
Yep.
then you have this career, and then people are done. Like they check,
Mm-hmm.
check, check, and then they move
Yep.
on to the personal stuff. Married,
Mm-hmm.
kids, buy your house. So there's this little checklist in America, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
the job, and once you got the job, then you just move on to the house, the kids, the marriage, whatever. But what I'm saying is, there's that other step. It's job, then figure out your side hustles, figure out your diversification of your income streams, figure out how else you're going to bring in income. Um, and certainly when you get raises along the way, never live in the raise. The raise should always fund the side hustles. It should always be put into investments, put into real estate, put into new businesses, new network marketing things. Um, always live with your original paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
All the raises should be put into other things. You don't want to live beyond your means. That's what's
Mm-hmm.
happened now, is everybody's, racking up credit card debt, and then we're going backwards.
Mm-hmm. Well, I
So
think what you just said, everybody does this. Like, I think there might be a perception of somebody in a younger generation. Oh, well, everybody does this, and that's just normal to go into debt. And I want these big toys, these big adult toys that cost a lot of money. I'm just going to put them on my credit card. And it's like that immediacy. Like, everybody's attention span is shortened. We all know that, in that immediate payoff, like, oh, I just want to get it now. And then, like you said, there's no long-term plan in place. But if this younger generation starts early and puts in the time and in the patience and does these side, like you said, save their money, invest, then yeah, when they get older, it's gonna be all set into place for them.
yeah. Yeah. I
You know,
mean, the goal, again, I'll restate it. The goal is to control your life, not let your
yes.
boss, a corporation, a job control your life. So the real goal is, how fast can you gain time freedom, personal freedom, financial freedom? How fast can you do it? And you're not going to be able to do it in the typical American system, because the
Yes.
typical American system is work till you are at
Yep.
least 65. I
Yep.
mean, that is what's the norm. That's our
Yes.
system. And then the Social Security kicks in, and the Medicare kicks
Yes.
in, and all this. But what we're learning now, with our nation and trillions of dollars of debt and all this fighting going on right now,
Hmm.
as we record this, we're fighting over the government shutdown, and are we even going to be able to have health care at anywhere decent cost?
Hmm.
So yeah, what the system is now is, yeah, you're going to have to work till you're 70. You're going to have to work till you're 75. So you're never going to have that life of freedom and living to your full potential, full purpose, unless we think out of the box.
Mm.
and this extra step of side hustling, right?
Yeah,
Um,
and that does take effort. Like you said, it's an extra step, but if you start it now, it will pay off in the long run. But I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I love what you said about control your life. Can you control your life? Don't let it, don't give your power away to these outside forces and influences that you can't control anyway.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
take charge of your own life, your own time. I love that. And don't wait till where I did later in life, when we all get to that age, we're like, oh, we want to do something with more impact, more meaning, something I could be passionate about. Like, I think we all get to that point in our lives where we're like, oh, yeah, I want to change something up. And if you already have some of these things in place and you took control of your time and your money when you were younger, then it's a lot easier if you need to do it at all. I don't know.
yeah, yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
love
It's,
that.
I don't think, I think that it's so easy to start your own business that people don't believe it. It's like it's too good to
Mm,
be true. So let's take the, makeup example with Mary Kay, for instance. So to start a Mary Kay business, I don't know. It used to be like, $200, but you got a big kit of
yep,
makeup
yep.
and samples, right? But you literally today, if you lost your job today, your 9 to 5 job today,
Mm-hmm.
literally tomorrow, you could own your own business. You could pay
True.
$200 to Mary Kay and you get your store in your home. It's a big bag of makeup. And
Mm-hmm.
you start going on social media and you tell people what you did and you start talking
Yep.
about it and you're passionate and you start doing makeup tutorials online and you
Mm-hmm.
literally can start a business just like that. Now, can you go out and buy a McDonald's franchise for 200 grand? Sure. You could also start a McDonald's franchise. It might take maybe a year. You got to go through all the paperwork and the legal, and you got to have like whatever, 200 grand. Literally in the network marketing space, you can start a business for a couple $100 tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's it's so easy that it's almost doesn't make any sense. It's you
Mm-hmm.
can't comprehend it in the brain that you can literally have your own business, work from home, work your own hours, be your own boss. Now, is it an easy business? No. A lot of people give up on it, like I said, because you have to work a lot for no
Mm-hmm.
pay at
Yep.
first,
Yep.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's a different mindset, a different business model. But I just did want to mention, like, you know, people are people may be sitting there and saying, well, yeah, starting a business on the side, that's like really complicated, and that I got to get an LLC and I got to get paperwork and I got to get a lawyer and I got to get an accountant. And no,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
no, you don't. A lot of those are learn as you go. And it's a team concept, and people are going to help you, and
Yes.
organizations like that have all the training. It's all online.
Yes.
It's
Yep.
So it's
Yep.
it's very, very easy to start those side hustles. And again, if you never get a customer, if all you get are discounts, that again is another thing people don't think about. They only think
Mm-hmm.
about the paycheck, the income.
Yes.
What
Yes.
we also need to think about are our expenses
Mm-hmm.
going out, right?
Mm.
So
So,
if anything, you save your money in your cost for your makeup or your cost for your clothes, your cost for your
mm-hmm.
jewelry,
Yep.
whatever you've
Yep.
stepped into.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So much wisdom there. And it's all comes back to our mindset and the stories we tell ourselves.
Yeah.
Like you said, like, oh, I need to get this and I didn't do that, and I'm not ready for that, and I can't do it. I mean, I told myself all kinds of stories like that for a very long time. And I
Yeah.
had to
Yeah.
switch that self-talk and so that I allowed myself to step into this direct marketing model. It's just we just have to expand our minds and think differently. That's all it comes down to, in my
That
opinion.
is really all it
Mm-hmm.
comes down to. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's a different way of thinking. Um, I think if you have to, if you don't know where you're going, if you don't know your destination, you cannot get there. Okay. If you go to the airport and you don't know where you want to end up, you're in the airport with all the transportation in the world, but if you don't know where you're going, you will not get there. You have to
So
pick the path.
true.
You have to pick the destination. So again, it's this mindset of how fast can I control my destiny? How,
Love that.
your destination, the goal is how can I gain time freedom, personal freedom, financial freedom? How can I gain freedom? How can I live the life I want to live? My hashtag is live life on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because on vacation, you don't have to wake up,
Right.
according to the alarm clock. You wake up when you
Yeah.
get up. You don't have to do things you don't want to do. You get to relax. You get to take naps. Now, I work, but I also work in something that's so fun and that I love so much. Who doesn't love travel?
Mm-hmm.
So I work in such a space that's so fun that work is fun. Work is
Yeah.
not work, right? So I have this freedom because I'm doing something that's so fun. It's not like work. It never feels like work. Um, so again, it's, every thought needs to be around how can you get to that goal, and what extra things can we do along the way to get to that goal, instead of the current thought is, let me put money in my 401k so that I can
Mm-hmm.
retire when I'm 65.
Yes,
That's the
exactly.
current thought.
You're exactly right. Yep.
So the new thought is, how can I never care about 65?
Mm-hmm.
That's not, you're not controlling that narrative. The narrative that you want to control is, how fast can I gain freedom to live the life I want to live life on
Mm.
vacation.
Oh, great
Yeah.
words of wisdom to end on. Love that. And enjoy your life along the way. Like you said, you love what you do. How many of us have gone through life and don't love what we do? We're just doing it to get that paycheck. So,
Well, that's a critical point, actually, because I had an extreme motivation because I had a ski accident. It was a pretty bad one. I had an
mm-hmm,
extreme motivation to work in nonprofits, right? So that ski accident is actually an enormous blessing on my life. At the
mm,
time, it seemed like a tragedy and it was
mm-hmm,
terrible and awful. And I
yeah,
was, death was involved and not having
mm-hmm,
kids and not walking and all these terrible, terrible, terrible things. But looking back on it, it really did open up my mind. It made me fearless. It made me creative because I felt like I had this calling to work in nonprofits, but the logic told me I would never be able to repay my student loans. I would never be able to have what I wanted in life, right? So so it really forced me to think out of the box. And that accident, you know, now I'm 54. So many, many, many years later, from the age of 15, it really, really, really blessed me by allowing me to think differently, think out of the box. How can I get this done? How can I still live where my passion is and have fun every
mm-hmm,
single day at work and feel good about what I do and do what God called me to do, but then still provide for my kids to have a great life and my grandkids to have a
mm-hmm.
great life? And how can I do both?
Mm.
So
Oh, again, so many wise words from you. Thank you so much. If someone wanted to get more wisdom from you, how can they connect with you?
yeah, so I am on all the platforms. So Tammy Cissell, Cissell on Facebook and LinkedIn and even TikTok. I'm not very good on that, but even TikTok. So I'm on all the platforms, 502 Tammy Vacays, that's my business. On Facebook, Tammy Vacays. But yeah, I think in the chat or in it'll have
Mm-hmm.
my
Yes,
Linkmate
yes.
page, my kind of landing page with all my contact info. But yeah, Tammy Cissell, you can find me online on LinkedIn, on Facebook, 502-889-6458.
The beauty of the internet is being able to connect with anybody anywhere on
Yeah,
any platform.
exactly. Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that info. And yes, we will drop Tammy's info in the description with this recording. So watch for that. Thank you so much, Tammy. Thank you again so much for expanding our perception and our perspective and our ways of thinking about earning money and controlling our lives. That's a big, big concept. How fast can we get control of our own lives so we don't have to worry about those external things that are happening and that might throw us for a loop? So thank you, thank you, thank you. I know you provided a lot of value to everybody listening in today. And if this was very valuable to you and you know that it can benefit somebody else, please share this episode with somebody that you know will benefit. Connect with Tammy. And I look forward to seeing everybody in our next episode. Tammy, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. We appreciate your time here.
You are welcome. That
All
was
right,
great.
everybody. Bye
See you
bye.
later. Bye.